Imagine standing on a 13th century plain, the ground trembling under the hooves of a Mongol horde, their arrows darkening the sky like a storm of death. It's around 1230, and as a farmer, merchant, or city dweller, you face the unstoppable tide of the Mongol invasions, a force of unparalleled speed, strategy, and brutality. The air reeks of dust and fear. The distant screams of fallen cities a chilling warning of what's to come. Survival is a fleeting hope against their relentless cavalry, cunning sieges, and merciless slaughter. Why was it nearly impossible to outlast their wrath? Join us as we uncover the harrowing reasons behind the Mongols' devastating conquests, revealing a world where resistance meant ruin. Share your thoughts. Where are you reading from? And what's the time? Drop a comment to connect with fellow history buffs. If this tale of survival against overwhelming odds grips you, a like or share keeps these stories alive. Now, brace for a journey into the heart of the Mongol storm, where courage met its match, and discover why you wouldn't survive their unstoppable onslaught. The horizon trembles under a rising cloud of dust, the distant thunder of hooves echoing across the 13th century steppe as you stand frozen, a farmer, merchant, or city dweller, clutching a worn tool or satchel. It's around 1230, and the Mongol invasions, led by Genghis Khan and his successors, sweep through Asia and Europe, a relentless tide of destruction that leaves cities in ashes and fields soaked with blood. The air is thick with the scent of churned earth and distant smoke, your heart pounding as the first glint of Mongol riders appears, their banners snapping in the wind. Survival against this force seems a fleeting dream, their speed, strategy, and brutality unmatched in a world of scattered kingdoms and walled towns. This opening segment introduces the Mongol war machine, exploring its terrifying efficiency, disciplined organization, and psychological terror, setting the stage for a saga where resistance was futile, and your chances of survival, whether in a village a mile away or a city 10 miles off, were slim against the storm of their conquest. The Mongols, under Genghis Khan, forged an empire from the steppes of Mongolia to the edges of Europe. Their campaigns from 1206 to 1240 devastating regions like China, Persia, and Eastern Europe. As a farmer tilling fields a mile from your village, a 20-minute walk, you hear tales of entire cities, Samarkand, Bukhara, razed in days, their people slaughtered or enslaved. The Mongols' strength lay in their mobility, their cavalry of mounted archers moving at speeds unimaginable to your world of ox carts and footpaths. A Mongol army could cover 50 miles in a day, a journey that would take you, on foot, 3 days at 15 miles daily, each step a 5-hour slog. Their horses, sturdy and numerous, allowed them to strike and vanish, leaving you no time to flee or prepare, your village's wooden palisade, a frail shield against their onslaught. Their military organization was a marvel of discipline, unlike the feudal levies of your lords. The Mongol army, structured in units of 10, 100, and 1,000, operated with precision, each soldier trained to ride, shoot, and obey without question. As a merchant traveling 5 miles to a market in 2 hours, you've heard of knights, in heavy armor, a day's ride away, cut down by arrows before they could swing a sword. The Mongols' chain of command, led by generals like Subutai, coordinated attacks over vast distances, a feat your local lord, commanding a few dozen men, a mile away, could never match. Their scouts, riding 10 miles ahead in 3 hours, gathered intelligence, ensuring no village or town escaped their notice, your home marked before you knew the danger. The composite bow, their deadliest weapon, was a technological marvel, its range and power unmatched. From horseback, a Mongol archer could loose arrows up to 300 yards, piercing armor or flesh with ease. As a city dweller, manning a wall 10 miles from your village, a 5-hour walk, you'd face a hail of arrows before the enemy was in sight, your crossbow's 200-yard range useless. A single Mongol rider could fire 10 arrows in a minute, a storm that felled defenders in moments, your wooden shield splintering under the barrage. You've heard of battles where armies, a day's march away, were decimated in hours, their bodies left to rot. The Mongols' precision, making every shot a death sentence. Mobility was their greatest asset, their horses a lifeline that fueled their campaigns. Each warrior had 3 to 5 mounts, switching to keep them fresh, covering 30 miles in a day, while your ox cart, trudging 5 miles in 3 hours, lagged behind. As a farmer, fleeing with your family a mile to a forest hideout in 30 minutes, you'd find no refuge. Mongol scouts riding 10 miles in 3 hours would track you before you reached safety. Their ability to live off the land, milking mares or slaughtering livestock, meant they needed no supply lines, unlike your lord's army, which relied on grain carts a mile away, easily raided. You've seen fields burned, your harvest lost, the Mongols' speed leaving no time to gather crops or flee. Psychological warfare was a Mongol hallmark, their terror tactics breaking resistance before battles began. They spread rumors of their invincibility, tales of massacres reaching your village through traders walking 5 miles in 2 hours. A city refusing to surrender, like Baghdad 10 miles away, faced slaughter or enslavement, its fate a warning to others. As a peasant, you've heard of towns submitting without a fight. Their gates opened in fear, a half-mile walk in 10 minutes to plead for mercy. The Mongols used captives as human shields, forcing them to march before armies, a tactic that crushed morale. You've imagined facing such a choice, your heart torn between defiance and survival, the Mongols' reputation a weapon as sharp as their blades. Siege warfare, though slower, was equally devastating, their engineers mastering techniques from conquered lands. As a city dweller, you'd see trebuchets hurling stones at walls 10 miles from safety, a 5-hour walk, crumbling defenses in days. The Mongols diverted rivers to flood towns, a tactic that drowned fields a mile away, your crops ruined in hours. Gunpowder, learned from China, blasted gates, a technology your wooden palisade, a half-mile from home, couldn't withstand. You've heard of cities like Kiev, reduced to ash in weeks. Their people, thousands strong, slain or chained. The Mongol sieges a slow but certain death, your chances of hiding or fighting slim against their relentless advance. Their adaptability made them unstoppable, learning from each conquest. In Persia, they adopted siege tactics. In China, gunpowder. In Europe, they exploited feudal disunity. As an artisan in a town, crafting tools a mile from the market, you'd face enemies who studied your defenses, their spies slipping through gates a quarter-mile away in 5 minutes. Your lord's knights, scattered and proud, couldn't match the Mongols' unity, their armies moving as one across 50 miles in a day. You've seen your town's walls, built for bandits, crumble under Mongol assault. Their knowledge of your terrain, gained from captives, making every hiding spot known, your survival a fleeting hope. Communication was their strength, a network of riders relaying orders across hundreds of miles. The YAM system, with relay stations every 20 miles, allowed messages to travel faster than your fastest runner, covering 10 miles in 5 hours. As a messenger, running a mile in 20 minutes to warn your lord, you'd be outpaced. The Mongols' orders reaching their generals before you reach safety. Your city's gates, a quarter-mile off, offered no protection, the blasts deafening, the smoke blinding, your chances of holding the line fading with each detonation. Psychological terror amplified their sieges, breaking spirits before walls. The Mongols sent captives to beg at gates, their cries a half-mile away sowing panic, your kin among them pleading for mercy. They'd parade severed heads, visible from towers a quarter-mile off, each one a warning of your fate. As a farmer, you'd hear these tales from traders, a 5-mile walk in 2 hours, your resolve crumbling as surrender seemed the only path. You've seen neighbors flee, their bundles dropped in streets a mile away, only to be hunted by riders, the Mongols' terror ensuring no one dared resist, your heart gripped by fear of their inevitable arrival. Disease spread in besieged cities, the Mongols exploiting it as a weapon. They catapulted plague-ridden corpses over walls, a quarter-mile from your post, spreading fever that killed faster than starvation. As a city dweller, you'd see neighbors collapse, their bodies feverish, a healer a mile away powerless against the sickness. You've heard of Kafir's plague, 100 miles distant, where disease ravaged defenders, their walls useless against infection. Your city, packed with refugees, bred contagion, the air thick with rot, your lungs burning as you rationed water, the Mongols' tactic ensuring death even if you survived their arrows. Water was another casualty, the Mongols diverting rivers to choke cities. As a merchant, you'd watch wells a half-mile away dry up, the river a mile off redirected to flood fields or starve your town. A family needed a gallon daily, but sieges left barrels empty, your throat parched after days. You've heard of cities like Merv, 100 miles away, where diverted waters drowned crops, their people dying of thirst. Your city's stream, a quarter-mile off, was cut, forcing you to drink tainted puddles. The Mongols' control over water a silent killer, your body weakening as their siege wore on. The Mongols' discipline ensured no respite, their armies encircling without gaps. Unlike your lord's levies, scattered a mile away, their units rotated, keeping pressure day and night. As a guard, you'd stand watch on a wall, a quarter-mile from safety, facing constant volleys, your sleep stolen by their relentless attacks. You've heard of cities enduring weeks, their defenders exhausted, 100 miles away, while Mongols rested in shifts. Your city's militia, a half-mile from home, faltered after days, their numbers dwindling, your eyes heavy with fatigue. The Mongols' stamina a wall you couldn't scale. The sensory world of a siege was a nightmare, each moment a test of endurance. The air reeked of smoke and decay. The dusk settles over the 13th century steppe, the fading light casting long shadows across the trampled grass as you, a farmer, merchant, or city guard, clutch a crude spear. Your village's wooden palisade, a mile away, offering little comfort. It's around 12:30, and the Mongol invasions, with their terrifying war machine of speed and brutality, loom ever closer, their dust cloud a grim promise of what you've heard in tales of razed cities. The air is heavy with the scent of dry earth and distant burning, your pulse racing as the ground trembles with the approach of their cavalry. Having explored the Mongols' unstoppable organization and terror tactics, we now turn to their superior military strategies, weapons, and mobility, which overwhelm defenders across Asia and Europe. This segment delves into how their tactical brilliance, deadly arsenal, and psychological warfare made resistance futile, rendering your survival, whether defending a town 10 miles away or a field a half-mile off, a near impossible feat against their relentless onslaught. The Mongols' military strategies were a masterclass in adaptability, honed on the steppes and perfected through conquest. Unlike your lord's feudal levies, mustered a mile away in a haphazard hour, their armies operated with surgical precision, using feigned retreats to lure enemies into traps. As a farmer, you'd hear of battles like the Kalka River, where Mongol riders, covering 50 miles in a day, baited Russian knights into a slaughter, their heavy armor useless against swift archers. Your own defense, a pitchfork wielded in a field a mile from home, would falter against their tactics. A 3-hour skirmish ending in moments as arrows rained down. Their generals, like Subutai, planned campaigns across hundreds of miles, coordinating attacks with signals, flags, or drums, while your village's warning bell, a half-mile away, rang too late to save you. Their composite bow was a weapon of unmatched lethality, its design a death sentence for defenders. Crafted from wood, sinew, and horn, it could fire arrows 300 yards with force to pierce chainmail, outranging your crossbow's 200 yards, loaded slowly in a minute. As a city guard on a wall 10 miles away, a 5-hour walk, you'd face a barrage. From beyond your reach, each Mongol archer loosing 10 arrows in a minute, their volleys a storm that fell dozens in seconds. You've heard of armies crumbling, their shields useless, a day's march away, the Mongols' accuracy making every shot a kill, your wooden barricades splintering under their relentless fire. Mobility was their greatest edge, their cavalry a whirlwind no army could match. Each warrior rode with 3 to 5 horses, switching to maintain speed, covering 30 miles in a day, while your ox cart, trudging 5 miles in 3 hours, lagged far behind. As a merchant fleeing a market 5 miles away, a 2-hour trek, you'd be overtaken by riders moving 10 miles in 3 hours, their pursuit relentless. Their horses, bred for endurance, needed little rest, grazing on sparse grass while your village's stores a mile away were raided before you could hide them. You've seen fields stripped, your grain gone, the Mongols' speed ensuring no refuge, your escape a desperate dream against their tireless mounts. Their use of psychological warfare crushed morale before swords were drawn. The Mongols spread tales of their invincibility, carried by traders walking 10 miles in 5 hours, sowing panic in your village. They'd send emissaries demanding surrender, promising mercy but delivering slaughter if refused, as seen in cities, like Bukhara, 100 miles away. As a peasant, you'd face this terror, your heart torn between defiance and submission. A half-mile run to a hideout in 10 minutes futile as their scouts tracked you. Their practice of driving captives before armies, forcing them to absorb arrows, broke defenders' will, your kin, taken a mile away, used as shields, their screams haunting your resolve. Siege tactics, though secondary to their cavalry, were devastatingly effective, their engineers adapting Chinese and Persian methods. As a city dweller, you'd see trebuchets hurl stones at walls 10 miles from safety, a 5-hour walk, crumbling defenses in days. Their catapults, firing flaming pitch, set homes ablaze. Your timber house a mile away, reduced to ash in hours. They diverted rivers to flood towns, drowning fields a half-mile off. Your crops lost in a day. You've heard of Samarkand's fall, its walls breached by gunpowder, a technology your wooden gates couldn't resist. The Mongols' ingenuity making every defense, stone or wood, a fragile hope against their relentless assault. Their archery was paired with disciplined formations, unlike your lord's chaotic levies. Mongol units, organized in tens, hundreds, and thousands, moved as one, their riders circling enemies in a tactic called the caracol, firing arrows while retreating. As a guard, you'd face this on a plain 5 miles away, a 2-hour march, your spear useless against their fluid ranks. Your lord's knights, charging in heavy armor, were outmaneuvered, cut down in minutes, their bodies left a day's march away. You've seen survivors limp back, their tales of circling horsemen chilling. The Mongols' coordination a machine that crushed your scattered defenses, your survival a fleeting chance. Their intelligence network was a weapon as deadly as their bows, spies infiltrating towns a mile away in 20 minutes. Disguised as traders, they mapped defenses, noting your palisades' weaknesses, a half-mile from home. As an artisan, crafting tools a mile from the market, you'd be unaware of their eyes, their reports guiding attacks before you could raise an alarm. They interrogated captives, learning paths and supplies, ensuring no village 10 miles away escaped notice. You've heard of towns betrayed, their gates opened by turncoats, the Mongols' knowledge outpacing your warnings, your plans undone by their cunning before battle began. Their adaptability in terrain was unmatched, turning forests, rivers, or hills into allies. In steppes, their cavalry roamed freely, covering 30 miles in a day, while your footpath, a mile in 20 minutes, offered no cover. In forests, they used narrow paths, a half-mile away, to ambush, their light armor ideal for swift strikes. Rivers, a barrier to your ox cart 5 miles off, were crossed with portable boats, their engineers building bridges in hours. You've seen rivers flood fields a mile away, the Mongols' tactics turning your land against you, their versatility making every landscape a battlefield where your defenses, wooden or stone, crumbled. Their supply system, or lack thereof, gave them an edge no army could counter. Unlike your lord's supply carts, a mile away and vulnerable, the Mongols lived off the land, slaughtering livestock or foraging. A warrior could survive on mare's milk, needing no grain, while your village's stores, a half-mile off, were raided in minutes. As a farmer, you'd hide food, a mile's run in 20 minutes, only to find it gone, their speed outpacing your efforts. Their self-sufficiency meant campaigns lasted months, 100 miles from home. While your supplies ran dry in days, your hunger a weapon they wielded without drawing a blade. The sensory world of their battles was a chaos of terror. The air reeked of sweat and burning pitch, the ground shaking with hooves, louder than your village's forge a quarter-mile away. The sight of Mongol riders, their bows drawn, filled you with dread, their arrows a blur that struck before you could react. Your hands, gripping a spear, trembled, your tunic soaked with sweat, the weight of fear slowing you. The sky, darkened by dust or smoke, hid the sun, each moment a blur of panic. Hunger gnawed, your rations stolen, the Mongols' onslaught leaving. No time to eat, your body weak against their unyielding force. The fragility of resistance was stark, each battle a slaughter. A farmer, wielding a pitchfork a mile from home, fell to arrows in seconds, your body left in the dirt. A guard, on a wall 10 miles away, faced fire and stone, your shelter gone in days. Wounds festered, no healer within a mile, and starvation loomed. Your fields burned. You've heard of armies annihilated, their banners trampled, a day's march away, the Mongols' tactics leaving no chance for valor. Your life a fragile thread against their might. Yet some surrendered, their submission a slim hope. Your heart, clinging to survival, however faint. The night deepens, and you stand by your palisade, the village a mile away silent, the Mongols' threat a shadow on the horizon. Their strategies, feigned retreats, archery, mobility, made every defense futile, their tactics a storm no wall could withstand. Your life, whether in a field or town, was a fleeting spark against their power, each moment a gamble with death. For now you wait, the air thick, the path dark, your world a testament to the Mongol advantage. The moon casts a pale glow over a 13th century walled city, its flickering light barely piercing the smoke as you, a farmer, merchant, or city dweller, huddle behind crumbling stone defenses, your hands trembling on a makeshift weapon. It's around 12:30, and the Mongol invasions, with their unmatched military strategies and relentless cavalry, have reached your gates, their distant war cries chilling the air scented with ash and fear. Having explored their tactical brilliance and mobility, we now turn to the harrowing reality of life under Mongol siege, where cities and villages faced starvation, destruction, and massacres. The ground shakes with the thud of trebuchets, your heart pounding as the walls, 10 miles from any hope of rescue, groan under assault. This segment examines the devastating sieges that left few survivors, detailing the terror, deprivation, and slaughter that defined these attacks, showing why your survival, whether in a town or a village a mile away, was a faint hope against the Mongols' relentless terror. Sieges were a cornerstone of Mongol conquest, their methods refined to break even the stoutest defenses. As a city dweller, you'd stand on a wall 10 miles from safety, a 5-hour walk, watching Mongol engineers assemble trebuchets, their stones crashing within days. Unlike your lord's sieges, which relied on slow starvation, the Mongols struck, with speed their machines, built in hours, hurling boulders that shattered gates a quarter-mile from your post in minutes. You've heard of cities like Samarkand, 100 miles away, where walls fell in a week, their people slaughtered or enslaved. Your town's stone ramparts, strong against bandits, crumbled under their barrage, each impact a reminder that no fortress could withstand their relentless assault. Your survival tied to the fleeting strength of stone. Starvation was a weapon as deadly as their catapults, the Mongols encircling towns to cut off supplies. Your city, reliant on grain from fields a mile away, a 20-minute walk, faced famine within weeks, the Mongols burning crops to starve you out. A family of 5, rationing a sack of barley, survived days, not months, their hunger gnawing as markets a half-mile away stood empty. You've rationed crusts, your stomach aching, the scent of bread a memory as you watch children weaken, their cries echoing in streets a quarter-mile off. The Mongols, living off captured livestock, needed no stores, their encirclement ensuring your city's food ran dry, your body wasting as their siege tightened its grip. Fire was another terror, their flaming projectiles setting homes ablaze. As an artisan in a timber house a mile from the wall, you'd see flames spread in minutes, your workshop tools and all, reduced to ash. The Mongols used naphtha, a sticky fire that clung to roofs, ignited by arrows from 300 yards beyond your archer's reach. You've heard of Bukhara's fall. Its markets 100 miles away burned in a night. Their people fleeing only to be cut down. Your city's wooden roofs, a half-mile from safety, caught fire, the smoke choking your lungs, the heat forcing you to flee into streets where Mongol riders waited. Their arrows a death sentence for those who ran. Massacres followed. Surrender or defeat, the Mongols sparing few to send a message. Cities that resisted, like Kiev, 10 miles from aid, saw tens of thousands slain, their bodies piled in streets a quarter-mile wide. As a merchant, you'd witness neighbors, men, women, children, cut down in moments, their blood staining the cobbles a half-mile from your shop. Surrender offered no guarantee. The Mongols often killed all but artisans or scribes, sparing a few to spread terror. You've seen survivors, their eyes hollow, recounting slaughters a day's walk away, their tales chilling your village, a mile off, into submission, your heart torn between defiance and the futility of resistance. Siege engines, beyond trebuchets, included mangonels and ballistae, their range and power overwhelming. A mangonel, hurling stones 200 yards, smashed your city's towers, a quarter-mile from your post, in hours, while ballistae fired bolts that pierced multiple defenders. Your crossbow, reloaded in a minute, was useless against their speed, their engines firing every few seconds. You've heard of Nishapur, 100 miles away, where walls fell in days, its people killed or chained. Your town's defenses, a mile from safety, were no match. Each stone's crash a step closer to death. Your hands gripping a spear, knowing no weapon could stop their relentless machines. The Mongols' use of gunpowder, learned from China, was a new horror, its blasts shattering gates. As a guard, you'd hear explosions a half-mile away, the wooden gates of your town, a 5-minute run, splintering under firebombs. Unlike your lord's battering rams, which took hours to breach, gunpowder worked in moments. The Mongols, alchemists crafting charges that blew through stone. You've heard of Zhongdu's fall, its walls 100 miles away destroyed by powder, its people massacred. Your city's gates, a quarter-mile off, offered no protection, the blasts deafening, the smoke blinding, your chances of holding the line fading with each detonation. Psychological terror amplified their sieges, breaking spirits before walls. The Mongols sent captives to beg at gates, their cries a half-mile away sowing panic, your kin among them pleading for mercy. They'd parade severed heads, visible from towers a quarter-mile off, each one a warning of your fate. As a farmer, you'd hear these tales from traders, a 5-mile walk in 2 hours, your resolve crumbling as surrender seemed the only path. You've seen neighbors flee, their bundles dropped in streets a mile away, only to be hunted by riders, the Mongols' terror ensuring no one dared resist, your heart gripped by fear of their inevitable arrival. Disease spread in besieged cities, the Mongols exploiting it as a weapon. They catapulted plague-ridden corpses over walls, a quarter-mile from your post, spreading fever that killed faster than starvation. As a city dweller, you'd see neighbors collapse, their bodies feverish, a healer a mile away powerless against the sickness. You've heard of Kafir's plague, 100 miles distant, where disease ravaged defenders, their walls useless against infection. Your city, packed with refugees, bred contagion, the air thick with rot, your lungs burning as you rationed water, the Mongols' tactic ensuring death even if you survived their arrows. Water was another casualty, the Mongols diverting rivers to choke cities. As a merchant, you'd watch wells a half-mile away dry up, the river a mile off redirected to flood fields or starve your town. A family needed a gallon daily, but sieges left barrels empty, your throat parched after days. You've heard of cities like Merv, 100 miles away, where diverted waters drowned crops, their people dying of thirst. Your city's stream, a quarter-mile off, was cut, forcing you to drink tainted puddles. The Mongols' control over water a silent killer, your body weakening as their siege wore on. The Mongols' discipline ensured no respite. Their armies, encircling without gaps. Unlike your lord's levies, scattered a mile away, their units rotated, keeping pressure day and night. As a guard, you'd stand watch on a wall, a quarter mile from safety, facing constant volleys, your sleep stolen by their relentless attacks. You've heard of cities enduring weeks, their defenders exhausted, 100 miles away, while Mongols rested in shifts. Your city's militia, a half-mile from home, faltered after days, their numbers dwindling, your eyes heavy with fatigue. The Mongols' stamina, a wall you couldn't scale. The sensory world of a siege was a nightmare, each moment a test of endurance. The air reeked of smoke and decay, the ground littered with debris, the crash of stones louder than your church bell a mile away. The sight of flames, spreading a half-mile off, filled you with dread, their light a beacon of doom. Your hands, gripping a bow or club, blistered, your tunic soaked with sweat, the weight of hunger slowing you. The sky, choked with dust, hid the stars, each day a blur of fear. Thirst parched your throat, your rations gone, the Mongols' siege leaving. No room for hope, your body a shadow of its former strength. The fragility of survival was stark, each day a gamble with death. A farmer, hiding in a cellar a half-mile away, faced starvation, your body too weak to flee. A guard on a wall a quarter mile off fell to arrows or disease, your post abandoned. Wounds festered, no healer within a mile, and fire consumed homes, your family lost. You've heard of cities emptied, their streets silent, 100 miles away, the Mongols' sieges leaving no survivors but slaves. Yet some endured, their cunning a faint hope, your heart clinging to a miracle, however slim. The night deepens and you huddle behind the wall, the city a mile away burning, the Mongols' fires a grim horizon. Their sieges, starvation, fire, disease, made every defense futile. Their assaults a tide no one could stem. Your life, whether in a tower or cellar, was a fragile spark against their wrath, each moment a brush with death. For now, you wait, the air thick with ash, the walls crumbling, your world a testament to the terror of Mongol sieges. The stars flicker weakly above a 13th century plain, their dim light barely illuminating the trampled path as you, a farmer, merchant, or city dweller, stumble through the darkness, your breath ragged, a sack of meager possessions slung over your shoulder. It's around 12:30, and the Mongol invasions, with their devastating sieges, starvation, and massacres, have left your city or village in ruins, the flames a mile away painting the sky red. Having endured the terror of their assaults, you now face the desperate act of fleeing. The Mongol riders' distant hoofbeats, a relentless threat in the air thick with dust and fear. This segment explores the near impossible task of escaping. The Mongols, detailing their relentless pursuit, vast intelligence networks, and control over territories that blocked your path, showing why survival, whether fleeing a village a mile away or a city 10 miles off, was a faint hope against their unyielding reach. Flight was a perilous gamble, the Mongols' speed making escape a fleeting dream. Their cavalry, covering 50 miles in a day, outpaced any runner or cart. As a farmer, you might flee a burning village a mile away, a 30-minute sprint, only to hear hooves closing in, their riders covering 10 miles in 3 hours. Your ox cart, trudging 5 miles in 3 hours, was no match, its creaking wheels a beacon for scouts. You've heard of families overtaken, their bundles dropped in fields a half-mile off, their bodies left by the road. The Mongols' horses, bred for endurance, needed little rest, grazing on sparse grass, while your supplies, hidden a mile away, were looted, your escape thwarted before you could find shelter. Their intelligence network was a web that trapped even the wiliest fugitive. Mongol scouts, disguised as traders, infiltrated villages a mile away in 20 minutes, mapping paths and hideouts. As a merchant, you'd try to slip through a forest a half-mile off, a 10-minute dash, only to find their spies had marked your route, their reports guiding riders to your trail. They interrogated captives, learning every track or cave within. 10 miles, a 5-hour walk for you, but a 3-hour ride for them. You've heard of fugitives betrayed, their hiding spots a mile away revealed by tortured kin. The Mongols' knowledge ensuring no refuge was safe, your steps dogged by their unseen eyes. Terrain offered little sanctuary, the Mongols mastering every landscape. Open steppes, stretching 50 miles, were their playground, their cavalry sweeping through while your footpath, a mile in 20 minutes, offered no cover. Forests, a half-mile away, seemed safe, but their light-armored riders navigated trails, their arrows piercing through brush. Rivers, a mile off, slowed your cart, a 3-hour crossing, but the Mongols used portable boats, bridging streams in hours. You've seen fields flooded, a mile away, their engineers turning rivers against you, your escape blocked by swollen waters, the terrain a trap that favored their mobility over your desperate flight. Their pursuit was relentless. Their riders trained to hunt fugitives like prey. A Mongol unit could track you across 30 miles in a day, their horses switching to maintain speed, while you, on foot, managed 10 miles in 5 hours, your legs aching. As a city dweller, you'd flee a breached wall a quarter-mile away, a 5-minute run, only to be overtaken by riders covering 5 miles in an hour. Their trackers, using dogs or signals, followed your scent, your trail through a forest a mile off, no match for their skill. You've heard of refugees caught, their families a mile away chained. The Mongols' pursued a net that closed before you could reach safety. Their control over vast territories made long-distance escape impossible. The Mongol Empire, spanning thousands of miles, had garrisons every 20 miles, their riders patrolling paths you'd cross in a day's walk. As a farmer, you'd aim for a free city 10 miles away, a 5-hour trek, only to find Mongol checkpoints, their banners visible, a mile off. Their yam system, with relay stations, ensured riders could chase you faster than your warning could travel, a message taking 5 hours to cover 10 miles. You've heard of towns 100 miles away, their gates guarded, your hope of refuge. Crushed by their sprawling dominion, your flight a race you couldn't win. Hiding was futile, their scouts scouring every corner. Caves or barns, a half-mile from your village, were searched, their riders combing fields in hours. As an artisan, you'd hide tools a mile away, a 20-minute run, only to find tracks betrayed you, their spies noting every movement. They burned forests to flush out fugitives, a half-mile blaze visible from your hut, the smoke choking your lungs. You've heard of villages emptied, their hideouts a mile off raided, the Mongols' thoroughness leaving no stone unturned, your secret spots known before you reached them, your heart sinking as their shadows closed in. Starvation stalked fugitives, the Mongols destroying food sources to weaken you. Fields a mile away, a 20-minute walk, were burned, your grain gone. In hours, as a merchant, you'd carry a day's rations, enough for a 5-mile trek in 2 hours. But weeks of flight drained your supplies, your stomach hollow. The Mongols, living off mare's milk or looted livestock, needed no stores, their self-sufficiency outlasting your hunger. You've seen families starve, their children weak a half-mile from home, their bodies left by paths. The Mongols' scorched earth tactics, ensuring no fugitive could sustain a long escape, your strength fading with every step. Disease was another, killer, the Mongols' sieges breeding sickness that followed you. Fleeing a plagued city 10 miles away, a 5-hour walk, you'd carry fever, your body weakening in days. Camps, packed with refugees a mile off, spread contagion, no healer. Within reach, you've heard of the Black Death, spread by Mongol sieges 100 miles away, its victims collapsing on roads, their flight futile. Your own escape, through mud a half-mile from safety, brought chills, the air thick with rot, your lungs burning. As infection took hold, the Mongols' legacy of disease, a silent threat that outlasted their arrows. Weather compounded your plight, the steppes' extremes punishing fugitives. Winter's frost, a mile from shelter, numbed your hands, your cloak no shield against a blizzard. A 1-mile trek stretching to an hour, as you stumbled through snow. Summer's heat, on a 10-mile flight in 5 hours, parched your throat. No, stream safe from Mongol patrols. You've seen travelers collapse, their bodies frozen or baked a mile from home. The elements are foe as merciless as the riders. The Mongols, clad in furs or light silk, endured, their horses trudging through storms. Your flight slowed by nature's wrath, your survival a fading spark. The psychological toll was crushing, fear eroding your will. The Mongols' reputation, spread by traders a 5-mile walk away, haunted you, tales of massacres 100 miles off chilling your resolve. As a city dweller, you'd hear screams a quarter-mile away, your kin used as shields, their cries breaking your spirit. You'd hide in a ditch a half-mile off, each hoofbeat a jolt, your heart racing as riders passed. You've heard of fugitives, surrendering, their flight abandoned a mile from safety, the Mongols' terror making every shadow a threat, your courage crumbling under the weight of their relentless pursuit. The sensory world of flight was a desperate struggle, each moment a test. The air smelled of smoke and sweat, the ground muddy under your feet, a mile's run in 20 minutes jarring your bones. The sight of Mongol banners, a half-mile off, filled you with dread, their arrows a distant whistle. Your hands, clutching, a sack, blistered, your tunic torn by thorns, the weight of hunger slowing you. The sky, clouded or starlit, offered no guide, each step a plunge into fear. Thirst parched your lips, your rations gone, the Mongols' pursuit leaving no time to rest, your body a shadow against their might. The fragility of escape was stark, each step a gamble with death. A farmer, fleeing a mile away, fell to arrows, your body left in a ditch. A merchant, running 5 miles in 2 hours, starved, your strength gone. Disease or cold claimed others, no shelter within a mile. You've heard of refugees caught there, families chained a half-mile off, the Mongols' reach leaving no path safe. Yet some slipped through, their luck a faint hope, your heart clinging to a miracle. The night deepens, and you stumble on, the village a mile away lost, the Mongols' pursuit a shadow you can't outrun. Their network, speed and control made escape a dream, your life a fragile thread against their wrath. The dawn breaks faintly over a 13th century landscape, its pale light touching the charred remains of a village, the air heavy with the scent of ash and silence where life once thrived. It's around 12:30, and as a farmer, merchant, or city dweller, you've faced the Mongol invasion's relentless war machine, brutal sieges, and impossible odds of escape, each moment a testament to their unmatched power. Having endured the terror of their cavalry, the starvation of their sieges, and the futility of flight, you now stand amid the wreckage, a lone figure on a path, a mile from a ruined home, the weight of their conquest pressing on your heart. This, concluding segment, reflects on the lasting impact of the Mongol invasions, connecting their ruthlessness to modern resilience and survival strategies, and honoring the courage of those who faced their wrath, weaving a gentle close to a tale of survival against an unstoppable force. The Mongol invasions, spanning from 1206 to 1240, reshaped the world, their empire stretching from the Pacific to the Caspian Sea, leaving a trail of devastation that altered societies for centuries. As a farmer, you'd have seen your fields a mile away burned, a 20-minute walk, your crops lost in hours, the Mongols' scorched earth tactics starving villages. Their conquests disrupted trade, merchants abandoning markets 5 miles off, a 2-hour trek, their goods seized or destroyed. Cities like Kiev or Samarkand, 100 miles distant, were reduced to rubble, their populations, tens of thousands, slain or enslaved. You've heard survivors' tales, their voices trembling in markets. The Mongols' legacy a shadow that lingered, your world reshaped by their relentless advance. Their impact on communities was profound, breaking the bonds that held villages together. Your village, a mile from safety, relied on shared labor, families tilling fields or weaving cloth. But the Mongols' massacres left homes empty, their survivors scattered, A family of 5, once harvesting a half-mile away in 10 minutes, was gone, their absence felt in every task. The Mongols' policy of sparing artisans, taking them to distant camps, tore skilled hands from towns. A blacksmith's forge a mile off, silent. You've seen neighbors vanish, their huts abandoned, the community's heart weakened. The Mongols' destruction leaving villages as ghosts, their people bound by fear, not fellowship. Economies crumbled under their weight, trade routes severed, and markets silenced. Merchants once walking 10 miles to trade in 5 hours faced looted caravans, their wealth lost to Mongol raids. Cities, hubs of commerce 100 miles away, saw their stalls empty, their coin drained by tribute demands. As an artisan, your tools, crafted a mile from the market, were worthless without buyers. The Mongols' conquests, starving towns of trade. You've carried goods to barter, only to find markets deserted. The Mongols' shadow halting the flow. Of grain or cloth, your livelihood tied to a world they shattered, each step a reminder of their economic stranglehold. Cultural devastation was equally severe, the Mongols erasing identities to enforce their rule. Temples, a mile from your village, were burned, their relics lost, your faith shaken by the loss of sacred spaces. Libraries, like those in Baghdad, 100 miles away, were destroyed, their scrolls ash, your history erased in days. The Mongols, forced assimilation, resettling survivors in distant lands, a 10-mile walk to a new life in chains. You've seen priests flee, their robes torn, a half-mile from safety, their teachings silenced. Your culture, woven in songs or tales, faded under their yoke. The Mongols' conquest a tide that washed away your roots, leaving you a stranger in your own land. The psychological toll was lasting, fear embedding itself in every survivor. The Mongols' reputation, spread by traders a 5-mile walk away, haunted dreams, their massacres 100 miles off a constant dread. As a city dweller, you'd recall screams a quarter-mile away, the sight of piled bodies breaking your spirit. You've hidden in a barn a half-mile off, each hoofbeat a jolt, your heart racing as riders passed. This fear-shaped behavior, villages, locking doors, merchants avoiding night travel, a 10-mile trek too risky. The Mongols' terror, though fleeting, left scars, your courage tested daily, your life a balance of survival and surrender to their shadow. Militarily, their legacy reshaped warfare, their tactics a lesson for future armies. Their mobility, covering 50 miles in a day, inspired later cavalry, while their siege engines, trebuchets hurling stones a quarter mile, set a standard for destruction. As a guard, you'd have faced their arrows, your crossbow a mile away useless, their strategies unmatched. You've heard of kingdoms adopting their methods 100 miles away, their bows and feigned retreats shaping battles for centuries. The Mongols' discipline, seen in their units a half-mile off, taught the world efficiency, your own lord's levies, scattered a mile away, a relic of a weaker era, your survival a lesson in their military genius. Politically, their empire forged, connections, their Pax Mongolica linking east and west. Trade routes, once cut, reopened under their rule. Merchants traveling 100 miles in days, their goods safer under Mongol guards. As a merchant, you'd hear of silk or spices moving through stations 20 miles apart. A day's walk, their empire a bridge for goods. Yet this came at a cost, your village's grain a mile away taken as tribute, your freedom traded for their order. You've seen traders pass, their tales of distant markets a faint hope. The Mongols' rule, a double-edged sword, their legacy a network built on your suffering. Modern parallels echo their impact, our survival strategies shaped by their lessons. Urban resilience, like disaster planning, mirrors the Mongol sieges, where cities 100 miles away fell to starvation. Today's emergency caches, stocked with food, reflect your struggle to hide grain a half-mile off. The Mongols' raids a warning to prepare. Rural communities, training for crises, recall your village's palisades, a mile away. useless against cavalry. You've seen modern fears, terrorism or pandemics echo the Mongols' terror. Our plans for evacuation or defense rooted in your desperate flights, a 10-mile trek in 5 hours, a faint hope against their pursuit. Technology has changed, but the instinct to survive persists. Your struggle's a guide. GPS and drones, unlike your footpaths a mile away, aid modern escapes, yet the Mongols' scouts, covering 10 miles in 3 hours, taught us vigilance. Emergency shelters, unlike your barns a half-mile off, offer safety, but their intelligence, network, mapping hideouts, reminds us to stay hidden. You've inspired disaster drills, our cities planning for sieges. The Mongols' legacy, a lesson in preparedness. Your courage in facing their arrows, a spark in our resilience. Each plan, a nod to your fight against an unstoppable foe. The human cost of their conquests was staggering, yet your resilience shines through. As a farmer, you hid in a ditch a half-mile away, your heart defying their terror. A merchant, you slipped through a forest a mile off, your cunning a faint victory. A city dweller, you survived a breached wall a quarter-mile away, your will unbroken. History names Genghis or Subutai, but your survival, though unrecorded, wove the tapestry of resistance. You faced starvation, your rations gone, your steps through mud, a testament to grit. We honor you, the nameless who endured, your courage a light in our own battles, your legacy a call to stand firm against overwhelming odds. The Mongols' legacy is a paradox, their destruction fostering connections, their empire built on your suffering, open trade, ideas flowing 100 miles in days, your villages' loss a link to distant lands. Their terror, felt a mile away, taught resilience, your survival shaping our strategies. Today we face crises, natural or human, with plans rooted in your struggle. Our communities stronger for your lessons. Your fields, burned a half-mile off, remind us to protect our own. Your flight's a guide to endurance. The Mongols' shadow lingers in our preparedness, your courage a beacon, each step a defiance of fear. The fragility of your world was stark, each moment a brush with death. A farmer, you fell to arrows a mile from home, your body left in the dirt. A merchant, you starved on a 10-mile flight, your strength gone. A city dweller, you faced fire a quarter-mile off, your shelter ash. Yet some survived, their luck awe, cunning a miracle, your heart clinging to hope. The Mongols' invasions, cavalry, sieges, pursuit, made survival a dream, their wrath a tide no one could stem. Your life, a fragile spark, carried your world forward, your resilience a quiet triumph against their might. The sun rises, and you stand amid the ruins, the village a mile away silent, the Mongols' shadow fading. Their conquests reshaped your world, breaking communities, economies, and cultures, yet fostering connections that outlasted their rule. Your courage, facing their arrows or starvation, wove a legacy of resilience. Your steps through fire or mud, a testament to human will. Rest now. The dawn's light a refuge, your heart a flame that lit the way. Your legacy lives in our plans, our strength, our defiance of fear, guiding us gently into a world where survival, though hard won, echoes your unyielding spirit. The dawn breaks over a 13th century landscape, its faint light touching the charred ruins of a village, now silent where life once thrived. It's around 12:30, and as a farmer, merchant, or city dweller, you've faced the Mongol invasions, relentless cavalry, brutal sieges, and futile flights, each moment a testament to their unmatched power. Having endured their terror, you stand on a path a mile from your ruined home, the air thick with ash and fear. This conclusion reflects on the lasting impact of the Mongol invasions, connecting their ruthlessness to modern resilience, and honoring those who faced their wrath, closing a saga where survival was a fleeting dream against an unstoppable force. The Mongol invasions from 1206 to 1240 forged an empire from Mongolia to the Caspian Sea, leaving devastation that reshaped societies. As a farmer, your fields a mile away, a 20-minute walk, were burned, crops lost in hours. Merchants, walking 5 miles to markets in 2 hours, faced looted caravans. Cities like Samarkand, 100 miles away, were razed, their people slain or enslaved. You've heard survivors' tales in markets a half-mile off, the Mongols. Legacy, a shadow that lingered, your world altered by their advance. Communities were shattered, bonds broken. Your village, a mile from safety, relied on shared labor. Families tilling fields a half-mile away in 10 minutes. But massacres left, homes empty. Artisans were taken, their forges a mile off silent. You've walked quiet paths. The community's heart broken. The Mongols' destruction leaving villages as ghosts. Your steps heavy with loss. Economies collapsed. Trade routes severed. Markets 5 miles away stood empty. Merchants' goods stolen. As an artisan, your tools a mile from the market were worthless without buyers. You've carried goods to deserted stalls. The Mongols raid starving towns. Your livelihood tied to an economy they broke. Each day a struggle to survive. Culturally, the Mongols erased identities. Temples a mile away were burned, relics lost, your faith shaken. Libraries in Baghdad, 100 miles off, were ash, your history gone. Survivors were resettled, a 10-mile walk to slavery. You've seen priests flee a half-mile from safety, your songs fading under their rule, the Mongols' conquest washing away your roots. The psychological toll was profound, fear shaping survivors. Tales of massacres 100 miles away, carried by traders a 5-mile walk, haunted you. As a city dweller, screams a quarter-mile off broke your spirit, hiding in a cellar a half-mile away. You've lain awake, fear a weight heavier than hunger, the Mongols' terror lingering in barred doors and cautious steps. Militarily, their tactics reshaped warfare. Their cavalry, covering 50 miles a day, inspired armies. As a guard, your spear 5 miles away was useless against their bows, firing from 300 yards. You've heard of kingdoms 100 miles off adopting their retreats, their trebuchets a quarter-mile away setting standards. Your lord's levies, a mile off, were relics, your survival a lesson in their genius. Politically, their empire linked east and west. The Pax Mongolica reopened trade, merchants traveling 100 miles in days, guarded by posts 20 miles apart. As a merchant, you'd hear of thriving markets, but your grain, a half-mile away, was taken as tribute, your freedom traded for their order. You've seen traders pass, their tales a faint hope, the Mongols' legacy a network built on your ruin. Modern resilience echoes your struggle, disaster planning, with food caches, mirrors your hiding grain a half-mile away. Urban drills recall your palisades a mile off, frail against cavalry. You've inspired our preparedness, our cities planning for crises, our routes a nod to your 10-mile flights in 5 hours. The Mongols' terror lives in our fears, your courage shaping our strategies. Your resilience shines through. As a farmer, you hid in a ditch a half-mile away defying terror. A merchant, you slipped through a forest a mile off, outwitting scouts. A city dweller, you survived a wall a quarter-mile away, your will unbroken. History names Genghis, but your survival was resistance. You faced starvation, your steps through ash a testament to grit. We honor you, your courage a flame in our struggles, your legacy a call to endure. The Mongols' legacy is a paradox, their destruction forging connections. Their trade routes, 100 miles long, carried ideas, your loss a link to distant lands. Their terror, a mile away, taught resilience, your survival shaping our strategies. Today, we face crises with plans rooted in your struggle, our communities stronger for your lessons. Your fields, burned a half-mile off, remind us to protect our own, your flight's a guide to defiance. Your world was fragile, each moment a brush with death. A farmer, you fell to arrows a mile away, your body in the dirt. A merchant, you starved on a 10-mile flight, your strength gone. A city dweller, you faced fire a quarter-mile off, your kin lost. Yet some survived, their luck a miracle, your heart clinging to hope. The Mongols' invasions made survival a dream, Their wrath a tide no one could stem. Your life, a spark against their might, carried your world forward. The sun rises, the village a mile away silent, the Mongols' shadow fading. Their conquests broke communities, economies, and cultures, yet forged connections. Your courage, facing their arrows, wove a legacy of resilience. Your steps a testament to human will. Rest now, the dawn a refuge, your heart a flame that lit the way. Your legacy lives in our defiance, guiding us into a world where survival echoes your unyielding spirit.